Good morning, Mr. Redford.
Good morning.
We are from Brahma TV.
Yeah, it's nice meeting you.
And I've seen your picture in the newspaper today.
I know, I just saw it this morning.
Yes.
I didn't read the story
So,
yet.
Welcome to Kochi
Oh, thank you very much.
and welcome to Brahma News.
Oh, thank you.
Sir, when your picture came regarding the battle of Vietnam, that small girl's picture, that is the world famous picture and world famous
Yeah.
recognitions you got from that pictures. I think. Am I right or not, sir?
When I took the picture of the napalm girl, a lot of people ask me question, but you know, for me, I'm a journalist. For my witness,
Yes.
that happened for the war.
Okay.
But some, I think they ask me some politics or for my picture. I cannot answer because I just do my job. You know, people ask me like the Hindu or Catholic or Buddhist. I say we on one God, right? One God.
Okay. So what do you feel in that battle? Directly you are seen from your naked eye. What do you feel over there?
What I feel for my picture? Yeah, when I took a picture of napalm when a fall bomb coming down. I saw the girl running, looked terrible. That's why I want to help her because I don't want she die.
No,
Yeah.
I ask about, she's alone, she lost her parents, she lost her family.
She didn't lose her. She didn't lose her parents.
She no parent. She lost her brother.
Well, her brother did not die in the napalm.
Like couple cousins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the cousin children
Yes.
died. But not the brother died later, but not died the same day.
Okay. So, what's your opinion regarding the wars coming for the political or other issues? And in that circumstances, what we can think about Mr. Russell, the great philosopher, told about the formation of world government for peace. So, what do you think about that?
The same political answer you said before.
Yeah, I think you know, a lot of people saw my picture very angry when the war, but you know, me, I just do my job for photographer. I work for Associated Press,
Okay.
and that's why only thing I cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
In your pictures, can you give some messages like that? Because now everywhere the war, everywhere the people are serving different areas all the world. Every time the war is going on or the battle is there, so you can give some message for that in your photographs.
So the message in a photograph. What's the message in a photograph? Are there messages in that photograph?
I just sent my picture just sent for the peace because
Yes, that's what I asked,
that's
yeah.
the peace. Big the war in my country is so long.
Yeah.
I saw people die over every day.
Okay.
So yeah, the war always terrible. You know, but nobody want war. You know, and I'm so happy I have that picture.
Yes.
That picture changed my life, changed her life, and
Yeah.
the war.
Yes. That's what I said. You give a message in the picture.
We'll do the last one.
Last
Yeah,
question.
Yes, sir. So, that your photograph stop the Vietnam War, right? The same thing only I asked. In one photograph, you can stop the Vietnam War. So, in your photographs or in other, the same thought papers photographs or same thinking or same wavelength, why we can make a photo exhibition or other exhibitions for stopping the war in the world or stopping the terrorism in the world?
That's why, you know, I really went to Vietnam. My coach has so many good pictures. But that picture, napalm girl, that one is terrible. When I saw the picture, I know that picture would change the war right away. And that's why I have, me and Mark, a friend of mine, we always had a photo, a picture in the war. If they want to see that picture, napalm girl. You know,
Okay.
that's why I travel all the after retire, more travel, because we talk a lot of pictures that
Okay.
need to go through a life today, and Kim Hope, she terrible when she get hit by napalm. That's why people see that my picture that says, I hope it never happened again.
Yes,
without war.
that's what I said.
That's
Now,
what I
now
went
the
on.
media is more powerful.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, lot of reaches there.
Yeah.
So that sort of pictures we
Mhm.
can make it and we can send to the people as a message. This is happening in the world, so please stop it. Please come to the peace.
Yeah.
That message we can make it.
Yeah, I took my picture. That's a message for peace. That's why, people look to, not Vietnam, everywhere now, the war, Iraq, Afghanistan, you see
Yes.
that napalm girl, and look, oh, that picture is terrible. Why we won the war.
Yes.
I hope it never happen again.
So I hope
I
we can
hope.
do something for our
For
world.
war to peace.
Signing
Yeah.
off. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very much for the
Thank you
interview.
again. Thank you.
We are from,
Thank you.
we are from Brahman News. I'm Aziz.
Great to meet you. Mark Edward Harris, a good friend of Nick Utz, and I'm here because I have my exhibition on North Korea, Iran, and Iraq. My photos here, and I've known Nick for 20 years and done many stories on him besides shooting my own features. I did one on famous, very important photographers of the 20th century, and of course Nick is at the top of the list.
Okay.
And so one of the most recent stories I did was on Vanity Fair. So I'm glad to be part of this for Nick's discussion.
Okay. Okay. So now you are going from here to Korea or
No, done. I've been to North Korea 10 times
North Korea?
to do
Okay.
stories.
So
Actually,
your exhibition is going over there.
right next to
Yeah.
Nick's. We're at the same
Next.
same
Okay.
place, yeah. And
So-
it's been amazing to be in Kochi for the exhibition. They did a great job
Okay.
for that, and of course everybody knows and loves Nick. Every time I pick up a newspaper here,
Yes.
it's a picture of Nick.
Yeah, Moni has saying we discussed about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I asked to Mr. Nick
Yeah.
regarding when he's gone to the battle or Vietnam battle, he's so directly over there and he captured the picture from there.
Yeah.
It has a message.
Yeah.
Like what I asked him now in the world.
Yeah.
Everywhere, in every corner, the war or internal fight or the terrorist attack. So lot of issues are going.
Always, yeah.
No peace in the world.
Yeah.
So once we when I read Mr. Russell, the great philosopher, told the formation of world government. That is it ruled by a philosopher. And it means all prophets are philosophers.
Mhm.
That is in Christianity or Islam or Hinduism. The prophet is a philosopher.
Yeah.
That we can see in the philosophical books, Mohammedan philosophy, Buddha philosophy, Jaina philosophy, Christian philosophy. So
Yeah.
it is a. So what do you think about the ruling of a philosopher in the world or formation of a world government?
Well, I think that as Nick has said in the past, he really sees his job and his thinking as recording history, and it's for others to make decisions with that information. He tries to shoot what he sees in front of him and not make a political opinion or not put his own thoughts about religions. Of course, we're all human and we take sides. Just like, I shot in North Korea, Iran, Iraq. I watched Mosul being bombed last year. We all have feelings. And Nick has talked before. There was a photographer, Keith Carter, who photographed this dying kid with a vulture next to it, and people were so mad because, like, how could you not help this kid? So Nick commented on that. Nick feels very good that he helped Kim Fu.
Yes.
In that picture, he took her to the hospital. She would have died if not for Nick. Some journalists feel they're only there to capture something and they don't disturb the scene. But Nick won't go beyond to make a political opinion verbally. He lets the pictures talking, and so in most cases you talk about a picture being worth 1,000 words. Nick's photograph is
that's
worth
what-
1,000,000 words, but he won't. And he's very careful when people ask about religion or politics, even though he has his personal opinions, he feels that for journalists that's kept private because it sort of
Yes,
slants the issue.
that's the point I
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a journalist
Yeah.
and as a photographer,
Yeah.
why we can't think about apart from the caste and religion, we want to formate a world government, and that world government will rule the world and give a success or give a peaceful atmosphere.
Well, if you have a single anything, you might think, oh, this will rule the world. It might be, and this is not Nick's opinion, this is my opinion, that could be very dangerous too, because all of a sudden you get one bad person ruling it, and then you have a serious situation.
I'm talking about happening in one fine morning. I'm talking about as a message we can give for that, at least to stop the war in between and make a peaceful world.
But
That the photographers and the news people or media people can give the awareness for that. We can't format a world government.
well,
We can give a message.
William Durant, in the Lessons of History, one of the great books, wrote that in the 5,000 years of history, there's only been 100 some odd years
Yes.
of peace. And so their conclusion, he and his wife wrote History of Civilization, but they concluded that this was man's fate, that humans resolve issues through war. Now, that's not something to agree with, obviously, but unfortunately humans, I mean, you see this in the animal
Yes.
world too, this fight for territory. I was just up in Madhya Pradesh photographing in the tiger reserves, which was amazing. But each tiger has its territory, and there's a
Yes.
natural clash when they come over,
Yes.
and it's horrible. And then people say, "Oh, you're gonna have like World War I was not called World War I; it was the Great War, the war to end all wars." Well, that didn't happen.
Okay.
And then you think, okay, you're gonna World War II, you beat the Nazis, we're gonna have world peace. Well, within 5 years, you had the Korean War. And then, of course, into China, the French leave, and then the Americans come in.
Yes.
And that's where Nick comes in, because, of course,
Yes.
he's famous for covering that. And then you think, okay, the Vietnam War ends, there'll be no more war. But, of course, we see in the Gulf Wars and everything
Yeah,
else.
that's what
So,
Vietnam War. He say directly over there, and he taken the picture
Yeah.
over there. He know who is the victim, so
Yeah.
what all things have happened over there.
Yeah, exactly.
So at least we can reduce the volume of that sort of issues.
True. I mean, just like, well, good question for you. Then, how would you resolve the issue between India and Pakistan?
That's what I said. All medias and newspapers, they don't give chances to this wars, and we give a message to the government every time, and we will try for that.
Yeah, I mean, as Nick said, only really crazy people would want war. That everybody wants peace, but there are people. I disagree with Nick a little bit in his statement where he says everybody wants peace. I do
Yes.
think there are people
Yes.
that want war, but they're typically the ones that they don't go fight. They have other people fight for them. And it's very easy to say, just like in the United States, we're having so much gun violence now, in particular.
Yes.
And so every time there's a mass shooting at a kindergarten killing 50 kids, or in Las Vegas,
Yes.
the politicians say, oh, we're praying for you. Well, those prayers don't do anything.
Okay.
You have gun laws, and you have less, who needs an AK-47 on the streets? And so you have to take effective action to make things happen. And you can have all the good wishes, because that's always happens right after a shooting. They say, and so that's the sort of thing. And Nick covered for 50 years the war. I'm sorry, 50 years also in Los Angeles, riots and things. He's seen violence far beyond that.
Okay. So what you can give the photographic message to your the new upcoming people?
So message for the future?
The future people for photography, regarding the photography, what's your experience?
I've been more 50 years for a journalist. I just wish I have the picture more pictures. Hope never have one again. footage when the war in Vietnam. I said, stop, baby, nothing war anymore. Now it's starting in Iraq, Afghanistan. I don't know what happened next, you know. But I hope the people will just live together. Never have war.